If you're tired of your own bullshit, what that basically means is you're not doing what you know you need to do. That's really it. We can retard proof this whole video. We can make it very fucking simple. You are not currently doing or operating at the standard that you know you need to operate at. And you've been there for maybe a couple of years. Stagnation. Nothing's moving forward. Same body. Same discontentment with life. Same questions being asked of why can't you do this? Why is everybody else able to do it? Why am I not? Why am I still in the same position? Why do I feel like I'm fucking going backwards at times? Well, I can answer that one. The reason why you feel like you're going backwards when you're stagnant is because you fucking are. Your life is meant to progress. It wouldn't be linear. But if you think about stock market graph or you think about Bitcoin where, you know, on the yearly chart we have this, forget the dip in COVID, whenever that was, just this here, this bullish graph. If you zoom into the yearly, we're on the yearly, if you zoom into the monthly or the weekly or the hourly, you're going to see this. You're going to see lots of them. Lots of volatility like that, lots of fucking downwards trends. Overall though, you're progressing. And that's where you are right now. You're on one of these. But if you stay where you are, you're moving backwards. And you've got to be moving forwards. Time is slipping away. Time is fucking evaporating every single day. You've got to be hyper aware of this. Even if you were to live to 80 years old, time is still not enough. It's not enough time. And the reality is, most people will live a full life in terms of not fulfillment, but like age. And they may not even hit fucking 80. A lot of people watching this video won't make it past fucking 40s, 50s. Unfortunately. I hope everybody lives to, you know, to they're old and grey and are able to do everything they want to do. But that's not the reality of life. You don't know how much time you've got left. We have to create urgency in this situation. Right? That's a huge part of it. Now, it's not the main solution, but it's a huge part of it. You have to create urgency around this issue. You're fed up of being stuck where you are, and it's gone on for too long. Too much time has been wasted. So what are we going to do from this point forward? You have to go radical. Because what you've been doing so far hasn't been enough to break you through this current glass ceiling. It's as simple as that. Now, I know you've been hitting the gym. All right, you may not have been the most consistent in the world. You may not have had the best plan. You may not have been at the best gym. But you've been hitting the gym. You've been consuming educational content. You've been trying to learn. You've been reading some books. You know a little bit about nutrition. Okay? It's not enough. All of that is perfect for where you are right now. And guess what? Where you are right now is not satisfactory. That's why you have this feeling of discontentment inside, and that's why you're fed up of your own shit. You know, it's funny, because the people who are fed up of their own shit, if you compare it to most people, the average NPC in society, you're way beyond them in terms of self-mastery. Now, you're nowhere near the top end of self-mastery. Okay, but on this journey, this self-improvement, self-mastery journey, you're miles ahead of these guys. They don't get fed up of their own excuses. Why is that? Because you know you're built for more. You know that you have limitless potential because everybody does. Everybody does. Not everybody's aware of that. I would say the majority of society is not aware of that. They're all just sheep. They do not think for themselves. Out of the people that are aware of that, not everybody claims it. There's a large contingent of people who know that they could create whatever life they want and they would still rather choose a life of comfort and pain that comes later down the line. That's very sad. But fuck them guys, because you're not one of them. You're in the final group. The people who are aware that they can create whatever life they want, and the ones who at least want to claim it. Some people are out there claiming it. day in, day out. That's where you need to be. But at the very least, at least you know you should be on that path. You've got to shoot for the stars. And maybe you land on the moon. You have to go so radical with what you're trying to do that it forces your hand, and you have to drop these excuses and you have to step up. That's exactly what you must do from this point on. It's not, I want to lose a bit of body fat and look a bit better. You've got to scrap that thinking. You've got to get in the shape of your fucking life. You have to get dick skin shredded. You have to look like you're 2 weeks out from stepping on a bodybuilding stage and never step on the stage. Just to prove you can do it. Just to prove you're in control. None of this, I want to run my first 5K. You have an ultra marathon in your mind. Now, it doesn't mean you've got to prep for that now. But that's where you've got to be in your head. Because if you have that in your mind and you skip, or you start complaining about your 3-kilometer easy run, alarm bells are going to go off in your head that this is not what I should be fucking saying or thinking. I shouldn't be complaining about this 3. How am I going to run 100 miles? It forces your hand. What you've been working towards currently or recently hasn't been enough to do that. And you've been able to keep these old patterns and behaviors present, the very things that are keeping you stuck, without those alarm bells going off that actually I'm not operating at the standard I need to operate at. Now, those metrics, looking like you're almost about to step on a bodybuilding stage, 100-mile ultra marathon, that's shooting for the stars. Forget how realistic that is right now. Now, I can tell you from first-hand experience, as somebody that's done both of those things, from a position that is most likely a lot worse than where you're at right now, many years of figuring this all out myself, I can tell you from experience, it's absolutely realistic. But in your head right now, it may not be. But you're missing the point. It doesn't matter if it's fucking realistic to you or not. The concept is you need radical change. You have to shoot for the stars to land on the moon. You're at a barrier. You're at a glass ceiling that you cannot fucking break through. So you have to go fucking up here in your head to get through this and get it moving again. Once you get past this glass ceiling, once you get moving, it will feel easy again. You know how it did in the start when you started the gym? When it was like, fuck, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting bigger, my lifts are progressing, I'm looking better. Before you hit this plateau, it will do that again. That's how life works, right? It never moves linear. There's always these up periods and down periods. And right now, it feels like you're in that down. You've just got to get through this. And that's what you use the radical change for, to get things moving again. And you will never revert back to this level. This is the thing, right? Identity. You've been stuck here for so long, this has become your identity now. The life you're so unhappy with, the circumstances and situation that you find yourself in right now that you're deeply discontented with, you have to understand, you really have to grasp this. It's a reflection and a result of how you've been using your time. Nothing fucking more, nothing fucking less. That's it. That's it. But you've been doing this for so long, that's your default behavior. And to break through, we got to go extreme, okay? But we've got to fucking do it for a long time. You've got to hold yourself at this standard up here, and you've got to keep fucking holding yourself at that standard. How do you do that? Well, we've spoken about the thing pulling us, the goal, the thing from the future. You also need the thing pushing from behind, the cost, the stakes. If you're so unhappy right now, which I would also argue you're not that unhappy, because otherwise this wouldn't be a video you're clicking on. I know you're uncomfortable. I know you don't like the life that you currently have. You don't hate it, but you want more. You've managed to find a bubble of comfort in the sea of discomfort. That's what you've done. And I know you think you're so pissed off and so frustrated, but you're not, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. You'd just be getting out there and getting it done. And I've lost the point I was going to make before I went on a tangent. Yes, what's the cost? What's the stakes? If you truly are so unhappy right now, and you're fed up of being stuck, and you're fed up of you being the thing to blame, because it is your fault, how would it feel in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years if you were still dealing with this? Because I can tell you right now, the more time that passes and the more time you waste, you will feel 1,000 times worse than you do now. And that will get worse every single fucking year. That's the cost. That's the stakes. That's pushing you from behind. Right? That's how you maintain the fucking standard. You drive into this process with fitness. Okay? It's all about the body. It's all about the mind, but the body comes first. The body comes before the mind. That's why it's all about the body. The mind is really the thing running the show. But the body governs the mind. If you can get full control of the body, if you can get into the shape of your life, if you can start pushing yourself in ways that you never have before, achieving levels of body fat that you never thought was possible for you, pushing yourself from a performance standpoint, getting strong as an ox, and performing like a fucking savage, an athlete, signing up to some fucking events, right? You will start to feel in complete control. You will start to believe in yourself. And that process sets the standard. That is your identity. I'm a guy who gets shit done. I'm a guy who can do hard things. I'm a guy who doesn't do these things over here that's been keeping me stuck for so long. Where a lot of people go wrong, and a lot of business owners in particular, is separating these lanes and roles that they play in life. So they have the business or the career version of them. They have the relationship version of them. They have the friend version of them. They have the fitness version of them. And they're all playing separate roles. And they think they can show up in this as one person and this as one person. But the reality is, it's one big fucking motorway, right? They're not separate roads. They're just lanes on the motorway. They are all moving in the same direction. And the thing that governs it, the motorway itself, is fitness. It's your personal standard. And fitness is the vehicle to maintain and progress and sharpen the personal standard. It's the only one that is universal. How you show up in your body, in the gym, with what you put in your mouth, with the habits, with the cardio, with the training, how you show up on a day-to-day basis reflects in every other area of life. It doesn't work with any other area. If you reverse the roles, it does not fucking work. That's why it's the body. And you're probably thinking of your own excuses in terms of a fitness lens, most likely. But it's deeper than that. It's not just about how you look. I know you've probably been trying to shift that last bit of body fat for quite a while. I know you haven't quite crafted that dream physique you had in mind yet. You haven't really got anywhere near it. But it's not that. It's everything else that's also a frustration right now. Because if you're not mastering your body, I can guarantee the same things happening in business. I can guarantee the same things happening with life direction and relationships and fulfillment and enjoyment. I can guarantee it. It all starts with the body. And you've got to get radical on that. You've got to go extreme with the fitness goals. And that's the only thing that you need to worry about right now. Everything else will sort itself and it will right and correct its course when you address this, because it's universal. That's where you're at right now. You've got to shoot for the stars to land on the moon and fucking forget about both of them. Right? It doesn't even matter. Like, you know, go crazy in your mind with what you think you need to be working towards now. But it doesn't even matter. For where you're at right now, the position you're in, you're just using it as a catalyst to break through. That's it. And once you pick the momentum back up, you can modify those goals. But you just need crazy contrast in your life. because you ain't got it right now. And that's why you're not operating where you need to be operating at. That is the only way out. You can do this. I promise you can do this. When I say I've been in that position before, you have no clue. I've been in that position for fucking years. Years I've been stuck there. And it feels like you will never get out, but you got to understand it's all on you. I believe in you, boys. You can get out of this position, right? You can break through that glass ceiling. You can get the momentum going again. You can reignite that spark, and you're on your way. And this skill of calling yourself out and being creative and finding a way to break through is then in your locker, and you have this moving forward. Because at some point, you break through this glass ceiling, there's going to be another. You're going to have to get more aligned. You're going to have to raise your personal standard again. There are infinite levels to this game, and you're stuck on one of the first few. And I'm not saying that to shame you. Like I say, I've been there. Time's running out. You know, you need to create urgency. There's many levels to get to. The higher the level, the better your life will be. The more fulfillment and more peace you will have. It's not about materialism. It's not about money. It's about you crafting that version of you that, you know, I almost think of it like a block of granite that you have to chip and carve away until you reveal who you truly are. Right now, you're pretty much just fucking square sides. You know, you're pretty much just a fucking rectangle. And the journey you're on is just chipping away. And you think you're almost there. You're not. You're miles away. You can't even, it's just fucking square. It's just squared off. And I say that because your whole life is going to change so much more than you realise once you break through this glass ceiling and you start getting onto the next ones. Because it will become exponential like this. That's how it works. Let's get it, let's go. Radical change, create contrast, go extreme. What do you want to achieve with the body? What do you want to achieve with performance? What's a really hard challenge that you would love to do one day that almost scares the fuck out of you? Gives you a tingle now as you're thinking about it. Get your mind on that. What's the cost of being in this position in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? And get to work. Peace out.